Hello everyone, welcome to SCI-EASE. In the last video, we discussed about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. In this video, we will study how do metals and non-metals react. When metals react with non-metals, they form ionic compounds. And when non-metals, they react with other non-metals, they result in the formation of covalent compounds. One thing I want to tell you that metals, they do not react with metals. So two terms, that is the ionic compounds and the covalent compounds, they are there. How these compounds they are formed? What are the attractive forces which exist between the atoms? First, I will tell you what chemical bond is. What are the attractive forces? So the force which links the atoms or ions in a molecule are called chemical bond. They are the attractive forces between atoms or between ions. You know about atoms, but ion, that I will tell you what ions are. An ion is electrically charged atom. That is, they must have positive or negative charge. The positively charged ions, which are formed by losing the outermost electrons or the valence electrons, they result in the formation of cation. Like sodium, it will lose its loosely held one electron and result in the formation of Na positive. Calcium will lose its 2 electrons and result in the formation of Ca2 positive. Aluminium, atomic number is 13. So, the electronic configuration is 283. 3 is the outermost electrons, valence electron. It will lose the valence electron. It will result in the formation of Al3 positive. Why? This I want to tell you that every atom has tendency to acquire the noble gas configuration, either by losing the electrons or by gaining the electrons. Here they will have sodium, calcium, aluminium. They all will be having now their ions. They are having configuration of neon, nearest noble gas. In the same way, when atom, it gains the electrons, it results in the formation of anion, that is negatively charged ions. They are known as anions. Like Cl, it is having 17. Electronic configuration is 287. So, it will not lose its 7 electrons. Instead, it will gain 1 electron and results in the formation of the nearest noble gas configuration, that is the configuration of argon. So, Cl negative, oxygen, O2 negative. Here oxygen is gaining 2 electron to acquire the nearest noble gas configuration of neon. F negative, it will gain 1 electron Fluorine will gain 1 electron and results in the formation of F negative. So these two terms should be clear to you before we study the ionic bonding. That is must. And one thing which I have told you, that every atom has a tendency to acquire the nearest noble gas configuration. You know the 18th group elements, noble gases, only the first one, helium, it has 2 electrons. The remaining 8, you know that neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, they are all noble gases. So the things will become more clear when I will take some examples. First is the formation of, I will take very common example, formation of NaCl. How many electrons are there in sodium? 11. Okay. So its electronic configuration is 281. This one electron that is loosely held, sodium will lose this loosely held valence electron and results in the formation of Na positive plus 1 electron. And this Na positive is sodium cation. Because it's losing the electron, it will result in the formation of positive ion, and positive ions are known as cations. Now, this is chlorine. How many electrons? 17. Electronic configuration, first you have to write the number of the electrons, that is the atomic number, and then you will write the electronic configuration, 287. So only one electron that is required, and it will gain the nearest noble gas configuration of argon. So this one electron which sodium loses, it will be gained by Cl to form Cl negative. And what is this now known as? Chloride anion. Now, this is the electron dot structure. Sometimes it's asked, write the electron dot structure of sodium or chlorine. So this is the expected question. So you should know how to put dots around it. Cross that can be put or dot can be put. Now, during the chemical reaction, only the valence electrons will take part. That is why I have put one dot, this one outermost electron, and here Cl, it's having 7 electrons. So this one electron that will be shifted here. Transference of electron. Sodium will transfer this electron to chlorine. Both will now acquire the nearest noble gas configuration or inert gas configuration. And what will be the result? Sodium will acquire plus 1 sign, and here chloride minus 1. And their outermost shells, they are fully filled. So this will result in the formation of NaCl. You can take as many examples as you can. You will practice them. I am taking formation of MgCl2. How many electrons magnesium has? It has 12. So the electronic configuration is 282. Magnesium has these 2 loosely held electrons, and this will lose these 2 electrons and result in the formation of Mg2 positive plus 2 electrons. Now it has acquired the configuration of neon, 2, 8, 10 electrons. In the same way, Cl I've already told you that it will gain one electron, results in the formation of Cl negative. But here, magnesium has two outermost electrons, so one electron will go to Cl. Where that another electron that will go? It will go to another atom of Cl. So the result will be Mg2 positive and Cl2. So the formula of magnesium chloride is MgCl2. You can show the formation of MgF2 like this only. Calcium fluoride, CaF2. Here also there are two electrons, and here F has one electron less than the nearest noble gas. So here the result will be Mg2 positive and F negative whole twice. In the same way here, Ca2 positive, F negative whole twice. You can take the case of aluminium. In case of aluminium, we have 3 electrons. Aluminium. Outermost electron, 3. So that will go to 3 chlorine atoms. You can show, I am showing only 1. So it has 7, so the 1 will go here. In the same way this, and this will result in the formation of aluminium chloride, AlCl3. So we have deduced the definition of ionic bond from these examples. The chemical bond formed by the transfer of the electrons from one atom to another, that is known as ionic bond. You can take as many examples as you can and you practice it. The question that is asked, show the bond formation in case of MgCl2 or CaF2 or CaCl2. So it can be asked. So you must practice. Now these compounds which are formed, this is a metal and this is a non-metal. So when metal reacts with non-metal, they form the ionic compounds. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound. Magnesium chloride is an ionic compound. CaF2, MgF2, they are all ionic compounds which are formed by ions, cations and anions. So I want to tell you what are the properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are usually solids. They are hard and they are solids. Second thing, ionic compounds, we will take the melting and boiling points. Ionic compounds, they have high melting and boiling points. Third property, regarding solubility. You know copper sulfate, CuSO4. I have taken this example time and again. Copper sulfate. This is also formed by ions. So, you know that copper sulfate or any sodium chloride, they are soluble in water. They are soluble. All ionic compounds are soluble in water. And last point, very important, that is, ionic compounds have high conductivity. They can conduct electricity. During the cell formation, we use copper sulfate, iron sulfate, zinc sulfate. During displacement reactions also we have discussed. So all these, they have high conductivity. So 4 properties I have told you of ionic compounds. You should know what ionic compounds are and what are the properties of this ionic, physical properties of ionic compound. So in this video, I have told you in detail how do metals and non-metals react, what is the result of their reaction, what type of the compounds they are formed, and what are their properties. Thank you.